Blandine Liszt, the eldest daughter of the legendary composer Franz Liszt, tragically passed away at the age of 26, just 2 months after giving birth to her son, Daniel. Her death, shrouded in mystery and uncertainty, has been the subject of much speculation, with several conflicting theories attempting to explain the cause. While some reports suggested she had been in good health during her pregnancy, a closer examination of the details surrounding her death reveals a far more complex and heartbreaking story, leaving unanswered questions that continue to haunt those who have studied her life. Blandine's life was marked by personal struggles, often compounded by the looming presence of her father's fame. As the child of one of the most celebrated composers of the 19th century, Blandine's own existence seemed to exist in the shadow of her father's towering legacy. Throughout her early years, she was plagued by frail health, but her death at such a young age was a cruel blow to a family already scarred by personal tragedies. The circumstances surrounding her death are clouded in mystery. On the surface, it appeared that Blandine was in relatively good health throughout her pregnancy, a fact that was later disputed by Richard Wagner, the famous composer and husband of her sister Cosima. Wagner's autobiography, published years after Blandine's death, revealed that Blandine's health may have been far more precarious than initially thought. It is important to note that Wagner's account, being written long after the event, is not without contradictions, but it nevertheless offered a chilling insight into the possible factors that contributed to her untimely demise. Some have proposed that Blandine may have contracted a rare and severe form of anemia during her pregnancy, a condition that was largely unknown at the time. Anemia, characterized by a deficiency of red blood cells or hemoglobin, can lead to extreme weakness, fatigue, and complications during childbirth. The fact that Blandine was relatively healthy during her pregnancy, according to some accounts, further complicates the picture, as no outward signs of illness appeared until after the birth of her child. Another theory suggests that Blandine may have developed a septic infection following childbirth. Streptococcus septicemia, a bacterial infection that can lead to organ failure and death, is one potential cause that has been put forward. The bacteria could have been introduced during the delivery or afterward, leading to severe complications that could have contributed to her rapid decline. The absence of clear symptoms prior to her death leaves open the possibility that her illness went unnoticed or was misdiagnosed until it was too late. Some have also speculated that Blandine may have been suffering from mastitis, a painful breast infection that can occur in women who are breastfeeding. However, the suggestion that Blandine's death was related to mastitis has been contested. There was no indication that she suffered from the more severe form of mastitis, known as mastitis carcinosis, which is often linked to cancer. This theory, though plausible, does not seem to align with the known facts of Blandine's illness, making it a less likely explanation for her tragic death. Despite the various hypotheses, the true cause of Blandine Liszt's death remains elusive, and her untimely passing continues to be a source of intrigue and sadness. At the time of her death, her family was devastated. Franz Liszt, already burdened by the emotional toll of his personal and professional life, was left to mourn the loss of his daughter, whose life had been marked by frailty and missed potential. Blandine's son, Daniel, was left motherless at a young age, a tragic circumstance that cast a long shadow over the family for years to come. What makes Blandine's death even more poignant is the fact that it occurred so soon after the birth of her son. The joy of welcoming a new child into the world was overshadowed by the devastating loss of a young mother, leaving behind unanswered questions and a grief-stricken family. The tragedy of Blandine's death serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life, particularly in an era where medical knowledge was still in its infancy and many of the conditions that now seem commonplace were often poorly understood. In the years following Blandine's death, Franz Liszt continued to dedicate himself to his music, but his personal grief was undeniable. It is believed that the loss of his daughter had a profound impact on him, and he withdrew from the public eye for a time to mourn. His later works were often infused with a sense of melancholy, reflecting the emotional toll that had taken hold of him. While he continued to compose and perform, the death of Blandine remained one of the greatest personal tragedies of his life. Blandine Liszt's death, though tragic, remains a mystery that has never been fully solved. The lack of conclusive evidence regarding her cause of death has left many to speculate, and while the theories surrounding her illness are compelling, they remain just that, hypotheses that can never be definitively proven. What is clear, however, is the immense grief her family felt at her passing. Franz Liszt's sorrow over the death of his daughter, just as his mourning over the loss of other loved ones, serves as a reminder that even the most celebrated figures in history are not immune to the heartbreaking pain of personal loss. As the years have passed, the memory of Blandine Liszt has faded into the background, overshadowed by the monumental achievements of her father. Yet, her life and death deserve to be remembered, not only as the daughter of one of history's greatest composers but as a woman whose potential was tragically cut short by illness. The mystery surrounding her death continues to linger, and perhaps in this uncertainty lies another tragic layer to an already heartbreaking story, one that has yet to be fully understood.